But we're getting astray, okay?
You getting a dog that's a stray dog? You found a dog?
You can't do tit for tat. You can't say, you know, that you can't say that they have to appear before the committee and testify when George W. Bush's vice president and his brain, okay, totally ignored the subpoena to appear before the committee.
And so did she. Okay, so it's not the same thing. It doesn't matter. This is her own administration that's going after her, not the Democrats going after her.
And I guarantee you that she will comply sooner than Dick Cheney and Karl Rove would. Okay? She'll answer these questions.
It's too late. It's over. That whole thing was over. And that's when they told her that this is not the FBI now. We're talking about the State Department did their investigation.
The Attorney General's office is what you're talking about.
He did the investigation. She did not participate in it. She did not answer any questions. They're done with it. They came with their conclusions that she was wrong, and she never got on to and she never appeared as they requested.
Well, and
it's over.
She was probably told not to appear because she probably wanted to, because the only way you can answer allegations is to answer questions. Okay, but when you answer allegations and questions, it raises more questions. So, but that's not what we're here to discuss.
It's not now. Why? It's politics.
So what do you want to do for the next 45 minutes? Discuss this? We've touched about this. We've talked about this about all we can.
All you can anyway.
Oh, okay.
Because
you're going to keep bringing up whatever you're going to bring up.
I can keep harassing you if I wanted to.
I know you can. It's your show.
No, it's our show. No matter what, I'm going to argue about it.
That's true. But, okay, so what we have here...
Are you censoring me?
Not at all. You're the boss.
Okay.
What we have here is Trump refusing to debate Bernie because he's the number 2 person.
Well, that was a stupid idea from the start.
When Trump said he wanted to do it for charity, I thought differently of him. Let's face it. Ordinarily, when you go to these debates, it's free. You got a ticket, you go in, you listen. He wanted to charge admission and had everything go to, in this case, it was women's help organizations, women's rights organizations. That's what he said. The first one went to the military, and this was going to go for women's health. And I commend him for that. I think that was very positive. But I really think that deep down, he can't fool with Bernie the way he can't call Bernie names he'll call Bernie a communist. He'll call him a socialist. Mm-hmm. All right? I mean, if you recall, I don't know if you watched the White House Correspondents' Dinner about a month or so ago, beginning of April.
Yep.
Beginning of April or beginning of May. President Obama was up there, and he introduced Bernie Sanders. He said, we have a newcomer into the political fray, Bernie Sanders. He said, and then he said something about Bernie dissing the Democratic Party, and he said, "Comrade, you shouldn't do that to your comrades, okay? Because people equate socialism with communism, which it's not, but people still equate socialism with communism."
Well, now they're saying socialism equating with Venezuela, which is in horrible shape.
That's true.
And it's got the 5th largest oil reserves in the world.
Well, if I recall correctly, one of the Kennedys, Joseph Kennedy Jr., the one who talks with a raspy voice, he was getting home heating oil from Venezuela, okay, and they were trying to stop him from doing that. But, I mean, at that time it was Hugo Chavez, okay, in Venezuela. He has since passed away, but he was giving him a special cut rate, and he was Kennedy was selling the oil to needy people, poor people who had to heat their homes for the winter, and they got a tremendous deal on it. I mean, like, how could you say no to somebody and the government kept saying, don't buy oil from Venezuela. But the thing is, if you're a member of the lower socioeconomic class and you have a small home and you have to heat your house, okay, and you have oil and gas, what are you going to do?
Actually, they were giving it away for free.
I think they might have been.
Yeah.
I think they might have been. You might be right on that. I mean, I stand corrected if that's the case. But
there
are times. I just want you to know that there are times when you are correct.
Oh, thank you.
And I will tell you.
There was a whole ploy to embarrass our government.
Yes,
Chavez was.
That's right.
Chavez was helping our poor.
Well, the government wants their pound of flesh, unfortunately. And usually it's at the expense of ordinary people like you and me. But getting back to, what were we saying anyway?
If
any of you know what we were talking about, please.
We're talking about Hillary being a liar.
Well, we're always talking about Hillary stretching the truth.
Oh.
You sound like Trump when you call her a liar.
Crooked Hillary.
Crooked Hillary, I know, yeah. Well, look.
Goofy Elizabeth. That's what he calls Elizabeth Warren. Pocahontas. Goofy Elizabeth.
Well, I got news for you. He's got names for everybody.
And they stick.
Well, but he doesn't like when people call him names. I mean,
Lil Marco called him Big Donald.
Yeah, and go look at that. Today, what does Marco Rubio say?
Little Marco.
No, what does Little Marco say?
King Donald.
He's going to vote for him. He's backing him.
He wants to be vice president.
No, he doesn't. He said he doesn't want to be vice president.
That usually means when they say they don't, that usually means they do.
But he's saying that he wants, he wants a future in the Republican Party. He's not sure if he's going to run for a second term because his term is up.
Yeah.
Now, Trump says he should. Look, the Republicans can't afford to lose a Republican seat in the Senate.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about with Trump at the top of the ticket, the Republicans may lose the Senate. It's only a matter of, I think, 6 or 7 seats.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember. I don't even know. Listen, they all took a pledge in the beginning.
I remember the first debate.
That they will support whoever the candidate is. And everybody was shocked when Trump said yes, he would.
Because they thought that he would be the first one to drop out and he would run an independent campaign. Hey, he never even figured that he was going to go for the marbles and go all the way.
Who knows what he was figuring?
I'll bet you if you were to get him candidly, that he would admit to the fact that he did this as a joke. I'm sure people asked him in the past, 2012 to 2008, run for office. He himself said, I don't know. I don't think the people would want me. But the bottom line is, they bought into his spending his own money. Now he's asking for donations because to run a presidential campaign,
it's $1 billion.
You need $1 billion at least.
Which is a sham.
Well, it just means that ordinary people like you and me will never be president.
They shouldn't,
Wait a second. Weren't you foreign born?
Yes.
Didn't you say you were born in Israel?
Yes.
No, you can't be president.
But
I'll run against you.
But my grandfather, on my grandmother's side, and her great-great-greatfather was a founding father of the United States, which means I have some foreign blood in me.
Ben Franklin? I mean, look, let's face it. Ben Franklin slept around. There's always a Ben Franklin slept here, and he slept here, and he slept there. Well, he really made it with those European women.
Yeah, well, he did make a drop over by Bytom in Poland for a week or two.
He made a little deposit?
He made a little deposit.
Okay.
So I am technically...
I want to see your birth certificate.
I don't have one.
Oh, there you go.
There's proof in the pudding. When you're American, I wonder if they were looking for Benjamin Franklin's birth certificate or
well, just
George
imagine
Washington's.
the founding fathers. In fact, even the first few presidents, the founding fathers, Washington, Adams, Jefferson, they were all born in England, I believe. None of them were born here. So I wonder when it finally became a law. I wonder what the amendment was. It says you had to be born in this country. I mean, look, Arnold Schwarzenegger is hoping that they're going to overturn that.
I will return.
He keeps saying, I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
I will be back.
He wants to do to the American Treasury what he did to California. We're already bankrupt,
He wasn't a big spender.
Who?
Arnold?
Arnold, yeah. Well, that's part of the reason that they're in the shape that they're in.
He was a big spender? Hey, big spender.
Hey, look, you got Gavin Newsom, former mayor of San Francisco. He's been talked about in the future as a possible presidential timber on the Democratic Party. I think Marco will recover 4 years from now, or 8 years, even 8 years from now.
Yeah, I think Marco will recover. I think he's, and I really, just because he says he's not going to, he wouldn't accept the nomination for vice president doesn't mean he won't accept it. They all say
well, you know what they all say. That's the favorite line of those people who become vice president. You say you don't want it, but if the president calls, you answer the phone. If the nominee, if your party's nominee calls you, you answer the phone.
Exactly. So now here's another thing that's.
Are you waiting for Trump
to call me?
Will you sit by the phone?
I'm sitting on top of the phone, waiting for him to call me.
Well, wait. Didn't Trump give out your cell number like he did to
to
what's his face? Graham? Not Graham.
Lindsey?
Yeah,
Lindsey?
Yeah. What's his face?
Lindsey
from
Graham.
South Carolina. Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Well, yeah, he did. But when he gave up mine, nobody called.
Well,
I
don't know.
Now what do you think now? The State Department, whoever is looking to sue the states that are not.
They're suing themselves?
No,
the State Department
is looking to not to sue states.
Yeah.
That are not complying with
the bathroom, the transgender.
Yeah. They want to take away their what do you call it?
Their federal fundings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they have every right to do that.
You do?
Yeah. On one hand, you say, you're not going to follow state and federal law because it would be federal law, not state law, but federal law. Okay, but then on the other hand, with your right hand, you want to take whatever money the government's going to give you, and then with the third hand, you say, but you don't want anything that the government is going to give you. You're a little bit of a libertarian,
Yeah. So also, I guess that means San Francisco and New York should have all their funds taken away.
Why?
Because they're asylum cities, and that's against the law.
They're what?
Asylum. There are.
Sanctuary cities.
Sanctuary cities.
There's a big difference.
Sanctuary and asylum, yeah. Same difference. The sanctuary cities, and that's against the law.
Well, but the bottom line is, I tell you, we haven't heard or seen of anything like what happened in San Francisco.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's against the law. It's against the law not to turn over prisoners.
Though I think New York does a pretty good job of turning prisoners over.
No, New York City is a sanctuary city, just like San Francisco.
Well, they let you in, didn't they?
Yeah, but they're not letting me out.
It's a good thing you don't have a leg to stand on because you're sitting down.
That's it. But that's because nobody cares about the laws of with the NIS and the